Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal to International. I'm called Morinzi. We begin with our top stories. At least 9 persons are reported to have died and 24 others wounded in an accident that occurred at La Falaise Bay in the Damawa region of Cameroon. According to eyewitnesses, the bus that was reportedly on high speed collided with another speedy truck. And thousands answered a present today at the Limbe Centenary Stadium to pay homage to 5 Andean divisional delegates murdered and buried in a mass grave by separatist fighters. Official funeral ceremony was officiated by Southwest Governor Bernard Okalia. Bila will equally provide you with reactions. And please, sources say for the month of June alone, they have investigated and recovered 4 vehicles, some of which were seized from their owners at a gunpoint, at which some were transformed in color and additional parts in a bit to downplay investigations. We have reactions in this edition of Newscast. And the changing economy of Cameroon and pressure on natural resources due to global demand have seen the emergence of conflicts between operators in environment preservation and indigenous communities. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. At least 9 persons are reported to have died and 24 others severely injured in an accident that occurred at La Falaise Bay in Ngandere in the Damawa region of Cameroon. According to eyewitnesses, the speedy bus was reportedly clashed with another speedy truck. Wounded persons were immediately transported to the hospital. The governor of the center of the Damawa region was at the accident site to take stock of the situation. Said we'll come back to that in subsequent editions of Newscasts. Thousands answered a presence at the Centenary Stadium today in Limbe, Southwest region of Cameroon to pay homage to 5 Indian divisional delegates murdered and buried in a mass grave by separatist fighters. The official funeral ceremony was officiated by Southwest Governor Bernard Okalia. Belay a painful moment for family members and well wishers. Let's watch. Sorrowful moments at the Centenary Stadium in Limbe, Southwest region, as the nation pays homage to 5 divisional delegates murdered by separatist fighters. The remains were later exhumed by government, and August 9 marks an official burial. Lamentations at the Centenary Stadium as their spouses, children, and families of the murdered delegates are the most touched. Speaker after speaker ask questions why the gruesome dirt killing of the delegates.
Killing the animal kingdom. Animals do not kill themselves nor eat themselves. They don't have souls. But we have souls and created in the image of God. Now we kill ourselves and we will eat, accept God Almighty as their creator.
Among the mourners are ministers, senators, traditional rulers, and Cameroonians of all walks of life. The governor of the Southwest region officiated the ceremony.
This was the funeral of the state. The state has to carry it to demonstrate that those collaborators, those compatriots have been effectively killed and buried the way you know, and thank to our determination.
The governor clearly indicates families could later bury in strict respect of customs and tradition.
They belongs to the environment, they have their culture, they have their church, they have their tradition. Now, they carry the remains when they are ready to perform their traditions.
It should be recalled the official funeral ceremony of the 5 Dian divisional delegates is taking place a few days after their remains were exhumed from a mass grave in a locality called Makumbe in Dian Division, southwest region of Cameroon. And many continue to pour their reactions following the killings in the English-speaking regions of Cameroon, saying it's just unbearable. In the following report, Senator Mbela Muki, traditional rulers and others say it's time to stop the bloodbath. Let's watch. Many people from the southwest region continue to question the future as they see more souls going down like the 5 Dian divisional delegates murdered.
We have buried our own and we are tired. It is only in the southwest that people are captured, kept in captivity, and their relatives no longer see them. They are killed. We can begin from Itoen Batibu, whose lifeless body was exhibited without a head. We watched the taxation official. No, it is too much. We saw chiefs, we saw our chiefs in Fako division. This is going on and on and on, and we keep saying the situation is under control. Control how? How many times are we going to be burying our own publicly? We saw the massacre in Kuma, we saw a Kondo Chichi. We see this every day. The southwest in reality is under attack.
Senator Mbela Muki describes the killing as unbearable.
We have been cowed to keep quiet and not to tell the truth. Take this. The man who surrendered in Tian was number 2 to General Tenkobo. In his revelation, he says that they received orders from abroad to execute the delegates. Who gave that order from abroad? Let the name be made public so that all the facets of the state, the government, civil society, the press, activists, advocacy should be launched so that the world should release who gave that devilish order.
Traditional rulers are also disturbed by the daily killings, kidnappings, and general state of affairs.
We can better put our points forth in a logical way, in a way that's understood by everybody, not by force, not by use of arms and all that. And it's, killing our own person, our own people. I think we're getting to that stage. And not being our helper, we definitely get over it.
A majority of inhabitants of the southwest region continue to shy away from our cameras, but raise fears and questioned when the crisis will come to an end. Many disclosed they have lost everything. They, however, continue to pray for lasting solution so peace can return to the English-speaking regions of Cameroon. Police sources say for the month of June alone, they have investigated and recovered 4 vehicles, some of which were seized from their owners at gunpoint, after which some were transformed in color and additional parts in a bid to downplay investigations. Saleh Sharifa, Annie Collins Annie completes the story for us.
With the climate of fear in Bamenda, due to the security crisis, even students are taking advantage of the situation to carry out acts of theft and kidnapping. Such is the case with a student of the University of Bamenda and another of secondary level, who, according to the police, used toy guns to kidnap a man in Bambili, making away with his car and collecting 650,000 francs ransom.
After a payment of a huge amount, more than 600,000. So they has been released, but the vehicles stay with them because they were asking for more money. Then after they tried to sell the vehicle, and this is where the vehicle they has been arrested.
These other Toyota RAV4 and these 2 Hilux, all-weather vehicles, were also stolen from their owners in Tarikon and Cow Street in Bamenda and Penka Michel in the West region, respectively. Acting on complaints filed in by victims, police investigations with the help of video surveillance images tracked them down as far as Balepo in the Bambutus and Douala in the littoral region, with some colors already changed.
At the time of theft, I had the categories and the documents of the car with me. And then, so when the car was recovered, we had to compare the categories with the chassis number of the car and some other particular marks that only the owner of the car can identify.
The motor they so na my food, na my life, na everything. Especially for sponsor my picking them for school. I do use and carry na firewood day, can supply for Bamenda for buy and sell.
The suspects have already been presented to the legal department. Speaking to the press on Tuesday, shortly before handing over the vehicles to their legitimate owners, Commissioner Emmanuel Noembok encouraged the population to not only summon fear, but also keep police informed of cases of theft and kidnapping becoming rampant.
And life is becoming unbearable for the student population residing at the called the Post area, Ngwaikele neighborhood in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. The stench from stagnant water in gutters around, coupled with mosquitoes and others of their daily plight, that they are pleading for immediate intervention as their health is at stake. More on that report with our reporter Beatrice Ngamo and student journalist Manuel Manga.
Mosquitoes, unpleasant smell and diseases, the daily plights of inhabitants of a called the Post area, Ngwaikele neighborhood in Yaoundé. The water has become transport route for waste also, rendering the area disgusting.
This water has been disturbing us for a very long time. During dry season, we mostly have mosquito bites. We cannot even sleep in our rooms.
The ban restricting such acts, clearly written on this wall notwithstanding, the dirty move is still on by the population, and it goes with devastating consequences.
We are exposed to floods during the rainy season, and it often enters our rooms.
During the dry season, this is when many people dispose their waste. Most of the hostels here, the cities here, connect their toilets to this water. So during dry season, the passage of water is not coming with pressure to carry this away.
In a bid to survive the odds, the inhabitants have taken some initiatives.
If you look at these walls here, we have tried to elevate them, we have built them, and for this city in particular, the 2 ends where we see water pass, we elevate. Just 3 days ago, had this place cleaned to try to evacuate the water because we know rains are coming soon, and if it comes with a blockage, we're in problem. Yeah.
Okay. The situation is alarming, with risk of water-related health issues and malaria. Timely intervention, the help this largely student population needs so badly now.
The changing economy of Cameroon and the pressure on natural resources due to a global demand have seen the emergence of conflicts operators in environmental preservation and indigenous communities. This as Cameroon celebrates the 15th edition of the International Day of Indigenous People. More with Beatrice Ngamo.
Cameroon, like most other countries in Central Africa, is home to a large community of indigenous people who have treasured the lands they live in for years. The Baka are found in the southern and eastern regions of Cameroon, the Bageli and Bakola in the southern region, the Bedzan in the central region, and Bororos scattered in the northwest, west, and northern regions. Climate change and urbanization are seen as threats to their livelihood, as they depend solely on nature. That is why these communities are stepping up to showcase their actions towards sustainable development.
My take-home message is that we all are Cameroonians and have to contribute to the well-being of this nation, and no one should be left behind. And that indigenous people have an important role to play in preserving biodiversity and the environment, to respect the right of these communities who are not just vulnerable communities but have a role to play in the society.
On the occasion of the International Day for Indigenous People today, August 9, a strategic meeting focusing on the participation of this population on inclusive sustainable development, leaders of these communities presented the role they play in checking the problem.
You have the information, which is the first step to improve the development. You have the tertiary knowledge, which are there to conserve the biodiversity. Why are you so poor? And we have so many frameworks, so many legal instruments that are here now, national legal instrument, international legal instrument that can be used by all of them to perform their life.
As the commemoration of this day continues, issues plaguing the indigenous people, like limited access to official documents, finance and education in Cameroon, were brought to the table. All was around this year's theme, citizenship education as a strategy for the social inclusion of indigenous people.
And with the 2023-2024 school year at the corner, stakeholders are multiplying strategies to ameliorate the sector, especially in terms of data collection. This is the case with the Ministry of Basic Education, which has today officially presented a localization map of schools in the country, highly modernized and digitalized through the website platform and initiative technically assisted by UNESCO. More with our reporter, Haisencha.
This is the web-seek platform of the geolocalized map of government public schools across the country, an initiative to ease access to credible data and statistics on the functioning of the basic education sector.
This geolocalized platform is an instrument of communication which allow the ministry, the regions, the divisions, and the subdivision to get the real situation of our school, our education system, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of teachers, in terms of what is going on in the environment of school.
Presenting the map this August 9 in Yaoundé, the stakeholders equally underline that the platform is coming to curb the challenges faced by the policymakers in creation and management of schools.
Schools will no more be created without taking into consideration the distance, the factor of distance, without taking into consideration the factor of landscape, that the geographical constraints. So we will now look at the education system in a whole at the level of central services. When we will be creating schools, we will take into consideration the density of the population. And all those elements are the new elements that will help us in decision making at the level of central services.
And these are the technical equipments consisting of 400 tablets, 2 mobile computers, 3 iPhones, and 2 giant screens, here officially handed to Minister Laurent Serge Tundingwa by UNESCO to boost the entire process.
Thank you so much, Haisencha, and that brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is our debrief with Lil Piejou, as we'll be back same time tomorrow. Good night.